Okay, my name's Rachel. My background is that I used to work for an organisation called Harrow Association of Voluntary Services. This was a very traditional charitable model. Every borough has what's called a CVS. It's funded by the local council. It's a charity. You have a board of voluntary trustees, you have a chief executive officer, and then you have some staff and volunteers who do the day-to-day work. In Harrow, we had a slight issue around some mismanagement of money, a little bit of a scandal, and after a period of about 9 months, the organisation shut down. Those of us who were employed by the organisation, we lost our job, we were made redundant. But during the last couple of months, we've been getting together as a staff team, knowing that this is the most likely thing that was going to happen, that the organisation was going to shut down. And as a group, we felt very passionate about the work the organisation had been doing and the work we were doing. But there was a certain amount of frustration within the charity structure that we weren't allowed to make the strategic decisions. The strategic decisions were made by a board of trustees who had very little interaction with the people who were doing the day-to-day work. So what we thought was we wanted to carry on the work, we wanted to work together as a team. We'd managed quite well as a team of staff without having a senior management because they left us to get on and do stuff, and we'd sort of supported each other. And so we looked at different models, and we chose a cooperative model because we felt that a peer model where we didn't have a hierarchy, we didn't have a CEO, we didn't have a board of trustees, would be much more flexible, that we could respond to the needs of the people we were working with. And so we set up a cooperative. So I'm going to Alex to explain.
So we are a workers' cooperative, which basically means all the workers own the organisation. So the workers, usually in workers' cooperatives, are directors of the organisation and have a say on its governance, so its strategy, what they're paid, what type of work they do, the hours they do. So, and it's all based, so we have chosen a consensus decision-making platform, which essentially means that we don't really vote on anything. We try to come to a consensus decision on the strategic and governance ways of how we run our business. We're a non-for-profit social enterprise, so it does enable us to access both grants and sort of trade as well. But one of the key elements, I think, of our cooperative is essentially that we really sort of work together to essentially achieve our objectives. It's one of our sort of fundamental things and why I enjoy my job so much. I sort of love going into work, and sort of it's quite a good passion to sort of, I go to all my friends and say, I hate my job, and say, oh, no, I actually love my job, so it's quite good. But I also want to talk about a cooperative principle, which is cooperation amongst cooperatives. And essentially every cooperative signs up to 7 cooperative principles. And this principle has really helped me in essentially to build our business. So we're quite a new cooperative, we do things in a quite different way. And actually that principle enables us to get help from other cooperatives. And it's very well networked. It's a cooperative movement essentially. And by going into that movement, we found ourselves able to get more capacity building, more advice, even sort of sources of funding and sort of partners that we can use to buy other services. So when I sort of looked at today's agenda, I thought one thing might be quite useful in terms of actual social impact that comes out of a cooperative movement. So we have a worker co-op weekend where essentially worker co-ops come together to discuss sort of issues and sort of training and have talks and everything like that. We usually have a blue sky thinking event at this event as well. And one year this solid fund came up. And the idea of a solid fund was to take £1 from a worker, from worker cooperatives, to essentially build a pot of money that goes to fund the movement, to fund a worker co-op movement. To this day, this fund is growing amazingly. It's absolutely incredible to see how workers have sort of taken ownership to fund a movement and to grow a movement. And I think for me, it's just one example of worker co-ops coming together and people owning a platform where they get to vote on who the fund, where the money goes, vote on the governance of the fund, vote on the priorities of the fund. And it's all done through an online platform called Lumio, which is another cooperative platform which is based on a consensus decision-making platform. Yes, so that's it. I'm going to leave the card if anybody's got any questions, so you can pass around and sort of take photos. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook as well. Oh, there is a question. Just take a question.
Could you post a link to the 7 principles
Yes,
on the hashtag? That'd be
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, you could remind me of a hashtag as well.
netwcity.
Yeah, we've got to go, but we're happy to
Brilliant.
be contacted through that.
Yeah, thank you.
Terrific. Thank